Toyota has long been known for offering sensible cars like the Camry, Corolla, and RAV4. However, they've also had a very long and rich racing heritage throughout their existence, and at the forefront of that racing heritage, a Toyota Supra has always led them. Now, if you guys have never heard of the Supra name, that's because Toyota actually killed off this nameplate back in the late 1990s, so it's been absent for over 20 years. But today, I'm at Summit Motorsports Park, just outside of Washington, D.C., where I finally get a chance to drive this all-new A90 generation Toyota Supra. It's riding on an all-new platform that's shared with the BMW Z4. It has a straight 6-cylinder turbocharged engine. It's rear drive. It's got a perfect 50-50 weight distribution. So it has all the makings of a proper Toyota Supra. But the big question I want answered, is this all-new Supra actually worthy of being a Toyota Supra, or is it merely just a rebadged BMW Z4 Coupe? That's what we're here to find out. So by now, if you guys didn't know that Toyota and BMW worked together to develop this all-new Supra and the Z4 convertible, you probably either live under a rock or you really don't follow the auto industry at all. And I probably am going to guess that that's not the case since you're actually watching my video on this all-new Supra. Now, regardless of what you guys think of Toyota and BMW partnering together, you can tell the design of the all-new Supra really doesn't look at all like a BMW. You won't be able to tell these two vehicles share any components because Toyota went with their own design language for the all-new 2020 Supra. In fact, they took basically a lot of influence from the FT1 concept we saw in Detroit about 5 years ago, which also takes some inspiration from the Mark IV Supra, especially when you look at the headlights. Now, granted, this is a modern interpretation of a Supra, so you're going to have full LED headlights as standard equipment on every trim level of the Supra. Toyota will offer it in base 3-liter premium, and then of course the launch edition model, which will be limited to 1,500 units. There are basically 6 individual LED diodes. The top portion are for the low beams, the low portion are for the high beams, and then you have an LED running light that goes into this elongated part of the headlight, and it also includes the LED turn signal. No fog lights in general on the Supra, which I'm a little sad to see that there are no fog lights. And then when you look at the lower front fascia, this is probably where the Supra has some interesting design elements. There are some fake vents right here underneath the headlights. It kind of creates like a tear effect. I'm sad that they are fake. There's also a lot of air inlets down here at the lower fascia, and compared to the FT1 concept, which I thought was such a beautiful car, Toyota added like an extra little grill right here at the lower fascia instead of like a solid piece. I kind of wish they had kept that solid piece. You can see the nose extends forward and gives this thing kind of a very long, elongated nose, which is very much going in theme with the overall Supra design language of the previous generations. From the side profile of the new Supra, you can see it takes a lot of influence from the FT1 concept and the previous generation Supras, especially when you look at the double bubble hood. That's a very unique styling element to the Supra name. Let me talk about the wheels really quick. All Supras will come with 19-inch wheels. These are the standard wheels you're gonna get. They kind of have like a black and an alloy machine chrome look finish to them. I think they look fantastic. They're riding on 255s in the front, 275s at the back. If you guys go for the launch edition model, you'll have an all black painted wheel, but it will be the same design. The brakes, as you can see, this premium trim will come with red painted calipers along with the launch edition model. The regular trim Supra will have just the gray painted calipers, and you also get 13.7-inch rotors at the front, which are vented with Brembo 4 pistons, and at the back you'll also get 13.6-inch rotors. They're an inch larger almost on the premium and the launch edition models as opposed to the base version. Now, when you look at the actual proportions of the new Supra, Toyota and BMW really had a Porsche Cayman in mind when they set out to create the proportions, because at a wheelbase of 97.2 inches long and 172.5 inches long, this car is right on top of the Cayman, the 718 Cayman, which I actually happen to have in my long-term fleet. But the difference is the Supra is about 2 inches wider than the Cayman to give this thing a little bit more of a, I guess, a lower, more planted stance to it. I think Toyota did a really good job. You really won't be able to tell this is a BMW at all. It's got a four-wheel independent suspension as well. That's pretty much a unique BMW design, and it also has adaptive dampers. That's going to be standard on every Supra across the board. Now, if you're going to compare this car to an 86, their smaller sports car, the Supra's wheelbase is actually 4 inches shorter than the 86, but this is about 8 inches longer overall. And if you're also going to compare it to the Mark IV Supra, this is about 5 inches shorter than the Mark IV because Toyota wanted this thing to be more track focused, and they did delete the rear seats because they made it a little bit smaller. From the rear of the Supra, you can see a lot of design influence was taken from the FT1 concept, except they did take away one feature that I really liked about that concept car, that wing that extended upward, that gave it that big, tall wing. That's what the Mark IV Supra was known for, and I'm sad to report that it just has this very subtle integrated wing into the rear deck lid. I'm hoping Toyota will go to the aftermarket, or TRD will offer a nice tall wing. That's always been a Supra trademark here when you look at the actual design. The rest of it, as you can see, is very reminiscent of the FT1. The taillights are pretty similar. You've got a full LED taillight, you've got an LED reverse light at the bottom over here. You've got these fake vents again, which are kind of similar to what Toyota puts on the Camry. It kind of creates like a teardrop effect. I'm not really a fan of the fake vents. I think Toyota could have done without them, or at least made them functional. You have this black painted rear diffuser over here, and then of course you have a nicely integrated active dual exhaust setup, which I'll let you guys hear what that straight six sounds like really quick. And if you guys have never heard a BMW engine, it sounds fantastic, just like a BMW straight six. I love the crackles and the pops that Toyota has included. It's even louder when it's in sport mode. Overall, the rear design, I think, looks pretty attractive, but I would like to see a rear wing setup available from the factory. Now, the one thing that this car is missing is an outside trunk release. There's no trunk release underneath here or on this part of the body. Instead, you have to open it from the inside or use the key fob to open up the trunk. But once you do that, I actually couldn't find any actual numbers for the rear cargo area yet, although it does look pretty similar to what you get in the Z4, the new one, which offers around 9.9 cubic feet of space, and that's a convertible. This, to me, actually is a hatchback, which surprised me when I opened this up. I didn't expect it to be a hatchback. I expected it to be a conventional sedan. Now, looking at the trunk shape, it's definitely going to limit your cargo space because it has this interesting cutout here. But if you guys are looking to actually put, 2 duffel bags or, 2 roller bags, you should be able to do so when you have 2 passengers in this car. Moving on to the inside of the all-new 2020 Supra, let's first talk about the key fob. Yup, that is a BMW key fob with some red trim on it with a Toyota badge. So again, you could hate on this car for having a BMW key, but I actually like BMW's key fob. It has, the typical unlock, open the trunk, lock, panic, no remote start on the actual key fob. As you approach the door handle, you can see there's a little area here. That's not where you touch that to lock the door. Instead, you have to touch it right here, and that will lock the doors. The mirrors, I have them to electrically fold in. It even makes the BMW beep noise when you lock it. When you want to unlock it, just touch the back of the door handle like every other car, and that will unlock the door for you. Now, checking out the inside of the 2020 Supra, you can see this one has just the standard black interior with the white contrasting stitching. Toyota also offers a red interior, and I believe a beige interior. I'll have to double check that, but the seats, as you can see, they're a 14-way adjustment with a 2-person memory. These 14-way seats with memory are actually standard equipment even on the base Supra, so you don't even have to get the loaded trim to get power seats. Remember, if you guys are looking at a Porsche Cayman, it's like a $3,000 option to get either the 14-way or the 18-way power seats. The seats themselves also are a little bit more aggressively bolstered, but we'll find out at the track and later in the test drive if they're bolstered enough. I like the way the seats look, but I would definitely consider going for the red interior as opposed to this black interior. You can see the door panel has the typical look that's sharing a lot of parts with the BMWs. I mean, the switchgear, the steering wheel, everything about this interior is pure BMW with some Toyota flavors splashed in here and there. But getting into the inside of the new Supra, this vehicle is low, and you definitely feel that for sure when you get into this car. The windshield is very skinny. You see over this very long hood, which is very different than what you get in a Porsche Cayman. Now, let me shut the door over here. It sounds really solid for a 2-door vehicle with a frameless window. The door sounds very solid when it's shut, so very impressive quality when you first start this vehicle up. Now, when you want to start it up, just put your foot on the brake, push the button here to fire up the engine. And even the BMW chime. So again, all the haters that Toyota didn't, put enough parts of their own into this car, they're gonna be coming out when you start this vehicle up, but then you put it into sport and start revving up the engine. And a few of them might shut up because that sounds fantastic. I love the crackles and the pops. When you put it into sport mode, it gets a little bit louder. That's just perfect. Now, in terms of the rest of the materials, you can see this is not sharing, or the design doesn't look anything like the new Z4. The Z4 has a larger 10.25-inch display, the updated version of iDrive, and the BMW also has a slightly different instrument panel. This looks like a very Toyota-like display with fonts that come from a Toyota and from a BMW when I look at the font over there. Even looking at the modes over here, you can put over here, you can change the display to show your different audio sources by pushing this button on the steering wheel. One thing I wish that you could do is I wish you could put GPS up here on the display. Toyota doesn't let you do that, BMW does. Again, this is an all LCD display, but it is unique to the Supra. The steering wheel also is slightly unique, although again, BMW buttons for the switchgear, for the paddles. The steering wheel airbag cover looks like a Toyota. I wish the steering wheel was a flat bottom. I think the steering wheel could be a little bit, more sporty looking for me. I wish it's a little too small. I wanted something a little bit more aggressive. The rest of this interior, it's a BMW Partsman in here, so it's got a really high quality dashboard with a soft touch graining material with some faux stitching. It's soft touch here on this lower portion. You kind of have this ribbon of aluminum trim that extends, connecting the two dash vents together. Your hazard switch is over there. You have BMW controls over here, like an actual volume knob, which is nice. Dedicated preset buttons, which is good. And you have dual zone climate control over here, which again, taken right out of a BMW. You'll have 3-level heated seats. Cooled seats, annoyingly, are not available on the new Supra, so I wish that Toyota had offered that. My premium tester includes this bigger 8.8-inch display with, as you can see, Apple CarPlay. It's wireless Apple CarPlay. It's the first implementation of wireless CarPlay in a Toyota product. And again, they're taking it from BMW. This is a BMW thing. It does not have the gesture control that BMW has, so they took that away. And I also kind of wish that Toyota got the bigger 10.25-inch display. As this one is, as it is, it's a little bit small when you look at the actual dash design of this vehicle, but let me come back to that in just a moment. Now, this premium trim also includes a wireless phone charger down here. Your USB is down there. Another actual power outlet is over there. This, of course, looks just like iDrive, but Toyota calls it Supra Connect or Supra Command. This has a little handwriting pad here, or you can manipulate it by, scrolling on this little wheel here, or you can also use the touchscreen. So that's part of the newer iDrive 6.0, which is nice. You also have dedicated short buttons over here. It all works very well. I also like the genuine carbon fiber trim that you find splashed throughout this interior. I think it just looks very nice. Electronic parking brake. This controls the 8-speed ZF automatic. It's a BMW shifter. Push this trigger here to unlock it. Go into reverse. You can see it has a backup camera with front and rear parking sensors. Very good quality resolution for the backup camera. This is better than a Lexus product even. So if you're looking for a better infotainment system in your Toyota, buy the new Supra because this is really good. This is even better than Entune 3.0. So again, Toyota could have used Entune 3.0, but they have what they have here. This was basically included with the car and with the chassis, so I don't blame them for using the BMW iDrive system. It's a very good system. Now you can see here, your auto start stop, defeat button is there, your sport mode is over here. You can also customize whether you want it to be in an individual setting where you can adjust all the different displays over here to tailor it just how you'd like. So really great customization that's important in a vehicle like this. The safety system here, this vehicle does come standard with automatic emergency braking, forward collision warning, automatic high beams. You can turn off these systems individually. Toyota actually gives you a dedicated button. You can even customize the settings. It does have lane departure alert with steering intervention and pedestrian detection. So again, all that is standard. What is optional is adaptive cruise control that this one has. The adaptive cruise is like a $1,100 option, part of a driver assistance package. So Toyota Safety Sense P, it's not branded as that in here because this is all BMW systems. Now over here, you can see the door panels are also soft touch. You have an aluminum accented door handles, the power window controls. Over here, it's an automatic one touch for both. You have power folding mirrors, as I said. Your headlight controls are over here with an automatic switch. The turn signal stock, you can see all BMW turn signals. You have automatic wipers, which is nice. The steering wheel is tilt and telescoping, but it's a manual adjustment. I wasn't expecting it to be power. Remember, this is supposed to be the lower end version. It's nice and padded over here where your elbows would rest. A nice grab handle here. You have some hard touch plastic down here with more storage. Your trunk release button is there. Your hood release is over there. You have to pull it twice, just like a BMW to open that. Now over here, you can see no opening center console, which kind of surprised me. Instead, you just have 2 cup holders over here, a little bit more storage over there. The seat seats also, again, they hold you in place okay. The leather feels good, they're comfortable. I wish they were cooled. Annoyed that they're not cooled. Over here on the glove compartment, you can see it's a little bit small, but it's damped, it's lined with felt. It's got a very rubberized texture here on the actual lid. That's pretty interesting. A sunroof, if you're looking for that, sorry, it's not available on the new Supra, as are no back seats, but as you can see, this is a liftback. This car is a lot smaller than the previous generation by 5 inches. But overall, the inside, I would argue that it has the best infotainment system in any modern Toyota product because of iDrive. It has very good materials. So even though this is very much part sharing with BMW, it's not a bad thing because BMW does really great interiors. Not class leading in terms of luxury, but they really got it in terms of the sportiness, in terms of the technology. There's a head-up display on this one as well. I think a lot of owners, a lot of people who would never consider a Toyota Supra before will really find a lot to like with this new interior. Now when you lift the hood of the all-new Supra, and this thing has an elongated hood because it has to make room for a 6-cylinder turbocharged engine, a straight 6-cylinder, and that was the most important thing that Toyota wanted this all-new generation to carry forward, and that's exactly why they went to BMW in the first place. That's right, Toyota actually went to BMW first because they wanted this engine. It's the B58 B30 M1. It's the 3-liter twin-scroll turbo, single turbo, straight 6-cylinder engine. It's BMW's latest and greatest 6-cylinder engine. And the Supra, it makes 335 horsepower and 365 foot-pounds of torque. Now that torque number is good from like 1600 RPM all the way up to like 5000 RPM. So it's a very broad torque curve that's realized at a very low RPM. So this engine is the right engine for this vehicle. It also sounds fantastic, as you heard. And although it only makes about 15 more horsepower than the old 2JZ motor that was in the Mark IV Supra, you have to keep in mind emissions testing and such like that. BMW and Toyota had to go with an engine that is going to comply with that. And the 2JZ motor, as much as the tunability it had in the aftermarket, is not going to meet the emission requirement. And although Toyota could have worked on an all-new straight 6 that was their own design, remember, on a low-volume vehicle like this with limited sales, they had to go to a partnership to keep the price in check. So just be happy there's a new Supra with a straight 6-cylinder engine. Now this thing is, of course, rear-wheel drive. There is no manual transmission, and there's no 4-cylinder available in the Supra right now. There are rumors that a 4-cylinder Supra is coming, which would be BMW's 2-liter turbo with around 255 horsepower, which hopefully we'll be seeing that at the later end of this year. Now it all goes out through an 8-speed automatic, as I said, which is a ZF 8-speed. It's the best 8-speed automatic in the business. Toyota said they might consider doing a 6-speed manual depending on the demand. And this thing is relatively heavy compared to the competition set. Although I guess it's kind of only heavy when you compare it to a Porsche Cayman. As this one sits, it weighs around 3,397 pounds, with just under 3,400 pounds. It's about 200 pounds heavier than a comparable Porsche Cayman. So remember, this car is a little bit wider, and Toyota actually did a really good job with trying to keep the weight in check because the hood is aluminum, the door panels are aluminum. Now Toyota says the 0 to 60 time is around 4.1 seconds, which makes it the quickest accelerating modern Toyota to date, and it should also reach a top speed of around 155 miles an hour. Now fuel economy, in case you're wondering, is also very good because remember, this is a BMW engine and transmission. It's rated at 24 in the city, 31 on the highway. Please make sure to put premium gas in it. That is actually better gas miles than what you're going to get in the base 2-liter 4-cylinder engine that's in the Porsche 718 Cayman. But you guys have been super excited. I know I've been excited. Let's get this new Supra out on the road and see how it performs. All right, so the moment you guys have been waiting for, finally getting to drive the 2020 Toyota Supra. This is actually my first time getting out on the road with it. And I have to say, the first thing I'm noticing, visibility is a little bit constrained in here. The windshield is definitely small. And you sit pretty low. You have to get used to how low you're sitting. And you also have to see over that hood. That hood is a little tough to see over for sure. But my first impressions of this new Supra, the engine. It makes with that engine. It has the nice little crackles and pops from the exhaust. I mean, remember, this 8-speed is supposed to be the best transmission in the business. And it practically is able to read your mind even in its normal setting, or actually I have it in sports setting, but when you leave it to just shift its own gears, this automatic does a really good job of blipping the throttle, of responding anytime I put my foot down. There's so much torque in this thing. I have to say, I'm really happy. It's a really, really great sounding engine. So much power. And honestly, I haven't even really floored it yet. So first impressions, very good. The car's chassis also feels very stiff, very secure, very solid. The steering in this car, however, could be heavier. Now, it is very quick ratio. It's responsive. When I turn the wheel, I mean, look at how quickly the vehicle changes direction. There's hardly any body lean, but even in its sports setting right now, its most aggressive setting, I want the steering to feel a little bit heavier, and it's just not. Holy moly, there's a freaking puddle right here. Woo-hoo-hoo, that sucks. Yeah, there's lots of flooding everywhere. Now I'm gonna wait until I have a better stretch of road where there's not water all over the road, but I have to say, this 6-cylinder turbo is everything that I expected a Supra to be like. Now, Toyota does say this car has launch control. Now, to activate the launch control, like anything else with the 8-speed ZF, you just basically put it into its sport mode here, hit the stability control off mode, or the traction off mode, or whatever, and all you have to do is just floor the brake and the accelerator at the same time. A little bit squirmy there. The road is a little shitty because it's been rainy, so I'm gonna have to try that again. It's also a little bit flooded, so oh geez. There's like a big river right here. Holy shit. Now, in terms of the steering feel and the handling of this car, Toyota has really done a good job at making this thing feel more like a sports car. It is very stiff feeling. It has a very good ride quality as well, though. Even though I have the dampers in its harshest setting right now, the car just really will grip the road, but it won't beat you up the way an 86 does. I really hate the ride quality in the 86. Now, granted, the two cars are from the same company, but the 86 is based off of a Subaru design versus this is a BMW chassis, and you feel like you're driving a BMW when you drive this thing. It has the same kind of stiff feel as a BMW, the balanced rear drive feel that you expect in a car with this kind of 50-50 weight distribution, the chassis dynamics. It's just a really nice feeling car in general. So Toyota has nailed the fact that they want you to be able to drive this thing on a daily basis. It feels like a really great daily driver. And honestly, the power, Toyota says 0 to 60 in 4.1 seconds. It definitely feels like it can get to 60 in 4 seconds. This will keep up with a Porsche Cayman in terms of acceleration and the engine. Listen to that sound. It won't let me go to second there. There we go. Oh, those crackles and pops. So quick to accelerate. I love it. It's such a good sound. Now, I'm going to try the launch control one more time here. I'm going to leave it in sport mode. Traction control is shut off. Oh yeah. I mean, it's not really much in terms of drama. I will say the Cayman puts the power down slightly better. This car's tail likes to step out a little bit more than the Porsche does, but that's going with the Porsche's mid-engine chassis. I would love to do a drag race with the two of them. The engine in this car is just so charismatic. Makes a really nice noise. I love the exhaust. Oh my god, that noise. It's so good. This car surprises me. There was so much hate on the web with this thing. I was worried about it when I was coming here to drive the car, but it's so really good. Now, I'm gonna actually go into just a regular mode here. And you can hear when you go to normal mode, the suspension gets a little softer, the steering gets even lighter, the exhaust gets a little quieter. And this is where the Supra is going to remind you that it's $20,000 more than an 86 because the ride quality is good. It stays relatively quiet in here. It's a little bit more spacious. Visibility is not quite as good as in the 86, but you're kind of okay with that because the cars just feel so planted. It feels so balanced. And you just have to get used to the long nose. That's really the only thing that this car suffers from is the visibility because of that inline six takes up a lot of space at the front. But yeah, I mean, Toyota has developed one hell of a sports car with the new Supra. It lives up to the hype you get from a Supra. I mean, this feels more focused than the previous Mark IV Supra because that was more of a GT car. This feels along the lines of how I want a modern 370Z to drive, but it's just such a better car overall than the 370Z, and it's just much more modern. I won't be able to test the fuel economy because I'm on this short media drive and I'm kind of just trying to get a feel for the car. But at 2431, this gets better MPG than the Z, then the Ford Mustang GT, then a Porsche Cayman S or base Cayman or a GTS. So BMW tends to have very strong MPG numbers and they're kind of reflected in this vehicle. I imagine if you guys put it in normal mode and you just drive it normally, this could easily do 30 MPG on the highway, which is what the EPA rates this thing as. But I mean, I haven't driven the new Z4 convertible just yet. Right now you can only buy the Z4 in the 4-cylinder configuration. I think Toyota should consider offering this thing with the 4-cylinder for sure. I think they should consider a manual to appeal to the enthusiasts, but when this thing goes on sale, I think a lot of people are going to be really ecstatic when they drive one because it drives unlike any other Toyota you've ever driven before, and it's because they partnered with BMW. So you have to give Toyota props for going to BMW. You know, it took balls, they had to swallow their pride, but the two companies have developed a sports car that is very much worthy of living up to the nameplates of the Supra and of course the Z4. So Toyota anticipates that the new Supra will be used for track duty. So of course I'm at Summit Motorsports Park. I have to get this thing out on the track. Now, there's no passing allowed here on this track. It's a very technical course. So let's get out here on this track. It's been a while since I've driven on Summit Point. I have the car in its sport mode right now. I have to say, out on the road, the Supra is a very comfortable car to drive on a daily basis. But out here on the track, just straight off the showroom floor, you can tell Toyota really took their time with this car and ensuring that it has its own unique personality. God, that transmission is good. Listen to that exhaust note. Oh my God, but this car's chassis feels so stiff. The suspension stays nice and flat. Oh my God, this is hilarious. The turn-in is so sharp. Now, I complained about the steering being too light in the on-road portion. Here, I'm also noticing that it is too light. I wish it was a little heavier. It just doesn't provide the heft that I'm looking for. It has decent feedback and response, but you just want a little bit more feel to the steering. You want it to be a little bit heavier feeling. What a seriously great car off the showroom floor. Oh, the seats, I wish they hugged you a little bit better. My skinny ass is squirming around in these seats. I apologize if I'm not like following the line like as much as I should be. I'm not a race car driver, guys, but I feel really strong. It's imperative that you have good brakes on a car like this, of course. And they're Brembo 4 pistons. The bite is strong. Now you really feel that 50-50 weight distribution on this car. God, the noise from this engine. It's so good out on the road and here on the track. You just hear it, even though I've got this helmet on, you hear that engine noise loud and clear with that exhaust. And the 8-speed, I mean, this thing it's like a dual clutch in the way that it feels and shifts sometimes. I think a lot of people who buy the Supra and take it to the track for the first time are going to be really impressed, because remember, the old Z4 was not really much of a track car, but this new one, you can tell Toyota and BMW really worked hard to give this the track-focused feel that a Porsche has. Now, while I haven't taken my Cayman out on a track yet, this doesn't feel quite as balanced as the Cayman because the engine's in the front. There's just more weight at the front. Versus the Cayman, where it's got a more balanced chassis. I'll have to take the Cayman out on, you know, a track like this, but oh my God. I apologize if I'm not really doing much in terms of talking, but it's a little hard to focus. I don't want to crash this car. The tires have very good grip. I've left the stability control on its sport setting here because I wanted to intervene in case I decide to be an idiot and I lose it. I hear very little in terms of tire noise. Okay, I stabbed the brake a little harder there. ABS intervention. God, these seats, I just wish they hugged me more. I'm sliding all over the place. I need a more aggressive seat in this car. Okay, I'm starting to get a little more confident with this car's handling ability. The back end gets a little loose when you start to push it. Oh my God, but this is such a joy. Let's go for one more lap. Got up to about 92 miles an hour over here. That's probably the hardest I'll push this on this track. Oh yes. The yellow cones mean brake. The orange cones are my apex. Okay. What a joy this is. Oh my God. Talk about your perfect Monday afternoon here on the racetrack in the brand new 2020 Toyota Supra. I could do this all freaking long in this car. Jesus, this is so good. I'm sweating here. This car is making me work for it. The back end likes to get a little sideways there. That is freaking awesome. But no, if you guys actually plan to take your Supra out to the track, it's designed to do it, and I recommend doing it. This is one seriously fun car to drive. So in the last 5 years, Toyota and BMW have been working very diligently to deliver an all-new sports car into the segment, the all-new Supra, and of course the platform mate, the Z4 convertible. And honestly, in a world dominated with crossover SUVs and boring sedans, I'm just really happy that the new Supra exists, and it exists with a 3-liter turbocharged straight 6-cylinder engine, exactly the way the Supra should be built, and it's how it should be continued to be built for years to come. So even though a lot of haters on the internet are so quick to point out that this is, oh, it's just a BMW Z4 Coupe, Toyota was really lazy, after spending the day driving the all-new Supra both out on the road and on the track here at Summit Point, I am happy to report that the new Supra exceeded my expectations in terms of the driving dynamics. The engine is probably the most charismatic part. It sounds fantastic. It has a fat, meaty torque curve. I actually prefer the motor versus the flat 4 turbo engine that's in my Porsche Cayman, which is again a really big win for Toyota because they had the Porsche basically right in their sights when they designed this thing. It's got a chassis that feels stiff yet also comfortable. It rides extremely well, so you could basically daily drive this thing. And even though the trunk isn't as big as what you get on the Cayman, you'd have a relatively usable trunk. The interior is very BMW nice. It has modern tech features, and although the visibility isn't quite as good, most of you who kind of look into a sports car, you probably really start to expect that, especially if you're driving things around like a Mustang or a Camaro or Dodge Challenger. All of those, remember, have really crappy visibility. So the Supra's is basically right in line with the competition. A couple of issues I may have with the car: the steering is a little too light, typical BMW complaint that I've had. They've worked on improving it, and Toyota has tried to improve it again, but it's still a little bit too light. I wish the seats also hugged me a little bit better. These are a 14-way seat, but I think on the track they could be a little bit more aggressively bolstered. So I would like to see Toyota do a TRD version, an even higher performance version versus this 3-liter premium that I have here. Now, regardless of what I think of the vehicle, you all probably are going to have your own opinion on the design. I think the new Supra is going to turn a lot of heads when they finally do start going on sale, which will be in the next month or so, at a starting price of just under $50,000 at $49,990. This has a really good starting price, and actually it's about $500 cheaper than the 1996 Supra Turbo, which was like $50,500 in 1996, which would equate to like $80,000 in today's money. So Toyota has really kept the price down. It's because they've worked with BMW to develop the chassis and the engine and just the platform for this car. Now, if you guys are looking for this premium model, it's going to cost you about $3,000 more. It'll add things like the wireless Apple CarPlay, the larger 8.8-inch Supra Connect infotainment system, the upgraded JBL 12-speaker sound system, and the head-up display and the wireless charging. That's honestly a really good deal at $53,990. If you guys are looking to be one of the first Supras or owners to get the launch edition model, that'll cost you like another $1,500 on top of the premium, which is based off the premium, and then adds about $1,500 at $55,250. Remember, that's plus destination charge. All in, a fully loaded Supra can be right around $56,000, which I know it is a lot of money for, especially for the enthusiasts that are looking to upgrade from an 86. But keep in mind, if they do decide to bring out a 4-cylinder Supra, that car could be about $10,000 less, but we just don't know yet for sure. But as this one sits, it's about $13,000 less than a comparable BMW Z4. So yes, at the beginning of this video, I asked, is this more than just a BMW Z4 Coupe? And to be honest, it's definitely a lot more than a BMW Z4 Coupe, but it's not a bad thing that it's based off of the Z4 convertible, because this is a great chassis. It's got a great powertrain, and what the Supra offers is just a coupe version of the Z4, which is a little bit more stiff, a little bit more track focused, versus the BMW is more comfort oriented. And if you're looking to get basically Porsche Cayman style driving dynamics and fun and just acceleration at a significant price discount, I think the Supra is definitely one that will be at the top of a lot of shoppers' lists. But I hope you guys have enjoyed my full overview on this 2020 Toyota Supra. If you're also looking to see the latest cars I'm testing, be sure to follow me on Instagram at redline_reviews. Like us on Facebook, and as always, guys, please keep subscribing to the Redline Reviews YouTube channel for all the latest reviews. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you all in the next video.